In this video, I'm going to talk about assessment, and I'm going to try and do it without using any educational jargon or speak. An assessment is an activity where you assess someone to see if they can do a particular task or job. Now, the task they have to do is stated in something called a unit of competence, which we'll just refer to as a unit. In a unit, there's lots of information, and if you're not used to reading them, it can seem a little bit difficult. To make it simple, start by reading the descriptor on the first page. This unit, carry out panel repairs. The descriptor states that it covers the skills and knowledge to carry out panel repairs to pre-paint condition, and that the repairs to body panels are limited to small repairs to accident damage, including dents. So that's a fairly clear description of the task. Inside the unit, it breaks that task down into smaller tasks. In this unit, those tasks are prepare for work, doing the panel repair, using filler, and cleaning up and maintaining equipment. After that, it states exactly what skills and knowledge you need to perform the task. What knowledge do you need? Well, for this unit, you need knowledge on basic panel beating techniques, types of body fillers, adhesives and abrasives you should use, and of course you need to know how to use them. What skills do you need? For this unit, the skills you need are plan, organise, work with other people, use equipment, those sorts of things. They're all listed inside the unit. So the unit stated what the overall task is. It's broken that task down into small tasks, and it's stated exactly what knowledge and skills you need to perform that task properly. And when we say perform the task properly, we mean perform it properly every time, not just get it right once and then mess it up the next time. And it also means that you need to do it properly on all sorts of cars, not just be able to do it, say, on a Holden and nothing else. So that's a basic overview of a unit. With a unit, try and keep it simple. Look at the unit and think, what does it state you have to be able to do, and what does it state you have to know? How do you assess somebody against a unit? You can't just ask them if they can do the task, you have to get evidence. You have to get the evidence that they've got the required knowledge that's stated in the unit, and that they've got the practical skills that they can do the tasks that are stated in the unit. To assess somebody correctly, you can't ask for more or less evidence than this. There are a number of ways to gather evidence. To gather evidence of knowledge, you can do things like ask particular questions face to face, ask the person to complete a written test or a test on a computer, get the person to complete an assignment, or write a detailed explanation of the knowledge required for the unit. When it comes to practical evidence, how do you get that? Well, you can do things like watch them do the practical tasks, or ask them to supply photos or videos showing them completing the practical work. Gathering evidence is usually done using an assessment tool. An example of an assessment tool can be a written test or a set of instructions. No matter what method or assessment tool you use, you must make sure that the evidence that you gather is valid. And by valid, we mean that it's appropriate evidence for the unit. Also that it's sufficient, that it covers everything needed for the unit. That it's authentic, i.e. that it belongs to the candidate and it's not somebody else's work. And that it's current, meaning that it's recent. When the evidence has been gathered, it's evaluated against the requirements of the unit and a judgment is made. You can only make this judgment if you know exactly what's required for the unit, and in particular, what's stated in the evidence guide of the unit. If the right type and amount of evidence is gathered, then evaluating and making a judgment is clear and straightforward. With the right assessment process and evidence, then no matter who does the assessing, the same conclusion will be reached. I hope this video has helped you to understand units and assessment. Don't worry if you didn't get all of it. We'll also be emailing out some information in dot point form.